Like, would you walk up to a rhino? I don't think so. Or even an elephant. Like, they're big. Hello, welcome to Sign the Fear Book Reviews. As usual, I am Tina. Today I'm doing the second book in my Indie April Readathon. So this is The Dinosaur 4 by Jeff Jones. This book is a fellow semi-finalist in the self-published science fiction competition, along with my debut, What Branches Grow. I'm just going to show it here. But I want to say that I don't consider other writers, especially self-published writers, my competition. Reading is such a subjective experience that while I appreciate positive reviews of my stuff, I also understand that tastes differ. As such, I'm writing a review as a way to help out an indie author, not to poke holes in his story or something like that. And even though there's certain parts of the story that weren't for me, I'm sure they were perfectly fine for other people. And I'm just trying to say that this is just me trying to be nice. Not trying to be like, I don't know what people think. Anyway, I also don't care what people think, so whatever. All that being said, I really enjoyed The Dinosaur 4. I listened to it on Audible, and it was a short, quick read, and the narrator did a great job. So it's an exciting, action-packed time travel science fiction horror that places 10 people, but there's a reason why it's called The Dinosaur 4, against dinosaurs. So here's the blurb. They came for the coffee and wound up in the Cretaceous. Sorry. A ticking sound fills the air as Tim McGregor enters the Daily Edition cafe, hoping to meet his new girlfriend for coffee. Moments later, a chunk of building is transported 65 million years back in time, along with everyone else. 10 unlikely companions find themselves in a world of dinosaurs and prehistoric reptiles. Several survivors compete for leadership as they search for a way home, and one member of the group plots to keep them all trapped in the past. Now, I love Jurassic Park, hence my workout shirt. It's not the most flattering shirt, but whatever, it's a workout shirt. And I figured I'd wear it because, obviously, I also have, I'm going to show this again because I love it so much. I also have the Criterion. The Folio, what is this, film? The Folio Society version of Jurassic Park, which is so cool. Come on, look, so cool. What am I saying? Anyway, so I also had a Jurassic Park themed wedding, if you didn't know that. So I'm all about a book about dinosaurs. In comparing this book to anything, though, I'd say it's actually closest to Camp Cretaceous, but for adults. Have you seen that show? I mean, it's like for older kids. It's about these six teenagers that get trapped in Jurassic World, the theme park version in the new sections of the Jurassic Park movies, when all the crap goes down after the first movie. And so they have to survive there for a couple of years. And it's really fun. I love it. It's got this great mix of that show, Alone meets actual Jurassic Park meets a Pixar movie. Anyway, this novel is like Camp Cretaceous if everyone is in danger of truly fucking dying. Camp Cretaceous, check it out. When it comes to this story, it's not Jurassic Park in that it's not rooted in hard science. And I mean, the dinosaurs, how they acted and looked and stuff. It's clear that he was trying to differentiate from Jurassic Park because that's obviously the first comparison you think of when you hear of a book with dinosaurs. We also don't know how the time travel machine worked. It just kind of does. I was fine with this. Time travel is hardly a science, and if you think too hard about it, it unravels, so I was totally fine with the minimal explanation behind it. There was a bit of it at the end that I wasn't super into because time travel is not a favorite genre of mine, even though I tend to keep reading it, but it was fine. It was fine. I will say one thing that I noticed there was a lack of was a description of kind of the flora of the area. The dinosaurs were really well described. I could picture them perfectly, but I could never really picture kind of what the layout of the area was that they were in. It didn't really bug me. I just kind of imagined it all being Isla Nublar anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But if you're someone that likes to be drop down and be able to visually see every single thing, you probably will find this a bit lacking. I just want to point that out. It's fine though, because not every book has to be like that. What I really loved in the book, though, was the action scenes. They are freaking disgusting. He doesn't hold back when it comes to dinosaurs, mangling stuff. And the dinosaur attacks, despite how many times they happened, they never got old for me. I always found them interesting. This could be because it was clear that no one was safe in the book, but also because it wasn't just one dinosaur the whole time. There were multiple ones, and herbivores were dangerous as well. Everything basically attacks them, and I thought that was really kind of a fun way of looking at it, because in Jurassic Park, they're kind of walking around with stegosauruses. It's Like, no, like, would you walk up to a rhino? I don't think so. Or even an elephant. Like, they're big. The story moves at a fast pace once it gets going. The first quarter is a bit slower, but it also suits the characters. They aren't sure what's going on. They're kind of huddling down. Once they get moving, the story really picks up, and I actually kind of liked that slow start because for me, it helped me situate stuff. It helped me figure out who the characters are because I'm terrible with names, so I'm always like forgetting who people are, and that helped kind of fix that for me. Now, one thing I didn't love about the book was actually the characters. I also didn't like any of the characters, except for Beth. They're well defined and that they're easy to tell apart, almost from the get-go, but they lacked in a bit of development. I have no issue with a multiple POV story. In fact, limited third person that jumps around all the characters is probably my favorite point of view. I think my issue with it is that we only get a deep backstory on 3 of the characters, yet we see into the minds of the others. So the ones who only get a bit of backstory feel a bit flat. For example, Lisa, the store owner, isn't consistent. If we'd been given more detailed information on why she was at times wishy-washy or unwilling to take charge, and then at others she's completely fine to do so, it would have worked very well. Instead, we get a lot of backstory on one of the most unlikable characters I've ever come across in a long time. He was clearly meant to be a gross creep, which is why he was so odious, but it was almost too heavy-handed. Had the story been focused on just him and maybe 2 others, for example, perhaps there would have been space for nuance or real explanation of why some men turn into, incels, and how it's a societal problem. It also felt a bit unfair that this gross turd of a person was given much more internal thought and backstory than all of the women combined. Yet, these are just my opinions. Some people might not notice or care about the latter points about the characters at all, given this is primarily an action novel. The thing is, I am really big on character-driven novels, so for me, that's something that I pick up on. But if you like a gore-packed story about dinosaurs where you can't be sure of anyone's survival, if you like time travel stories, this is a fun, entertaining book, and I do recommend it. I really do think it's fun. And yeah, I hope that convinces some of you to check it out. So thanks.